Okay, you can see the full screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think I waited long in the queue. So good afternoon and good morning to everyone because somebody like Professor Andrew and for myself, it's still a morning, I guess. So I must say this is a much needed webinar at this juncture, especially to instill positivity in every minds as we are moving to the new normal and things are pretty uncertain. So ever since this lockdown was announced across the world, we saw that the students were quite distressed. Students across the globe, they started having the anxiety issue. Many of them were not aware whether they are going to complete their degree or not. What is going to happen in the future? People are losing jobs, taking pay cuts, whole lot of stress, depression. However, if you look at in the whole scenario, still people were quite positive that things are going to change. If you go to anybody's LinkedIn page, if you go to any other Facebook pages or so, you will find that whole lot of people are doing certification programs, trying to upgrade themselves. As one of the panelists rightly said, everybody was trying to reskill or upskill um, their talents. So that is quite a positive thing. So if you look at the developing countries, like I'm coming from Ghana, so in Ghana or any other developing countries in Africa or Asia, we see that COVID has exposed a stark inequalities in education sector. I can relate to what Professor Andrew rightly mentioned. It was really painful for we educators or those who are in the education business to take such a huge blow on our face when this lockdown happened and institutions were indefinitely closed. Some of the institutions were not prepared for the lockdown, their lack of infrastructure or lack of LMS learning management systems that has really suffered the business, made them to suffer in the business. However, I think people have bounced back now. Things are falling in place. So today, the topic which I'm going to discuss is post COVID-19 superpowers. If this was a debate by now, I must be in the winning team because I've seen that many of the panelists have been talking about how technology is influencing and how technology can change the world in post COVID. So I'm also going to talk about the same thing. So in a brief, like I'm Sujit Jayaprakash. So I'm currently working as the director and the business head of New Age Infotech. I have more than a decade of experience in the education sector in Africa, India, and Latin America, and also with significant experience in senior management roles and leading institutional academic delivery. So I have completed my Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, specialized in education data mining. So my area of expertise includes data science, web mining, education data mining, and social media marketing. So um, first of all, I would like to appreciate and congratulate the entire academic fraternity of Sangam University for successfully organizing this webinar. And as I said earlier, this is a much needed webinar at this current juncture. Keep it up, guys. Kudos to your entire team. So the target audience for my webinar today is especially this presentation is targeted towards the aspiring candidates who would like to venture into machine learning, data science, etc. All those big technical jargons we used to hear quite often. I know that in India, many of them would love to learn these things. Every now and then, I see messages on different Facebook groups of data science and machine learning that they want to get into this field, but many of them are not aware of what is the right step to take and what is what and which is which. That is what confusing most of them. So this presentation will provide the fundamentals of all the trending topics in the technology and how AI or machine learning is helping the field of education, health, entertainment, and etc. Believe me, many panelists who presented before me have dissected this topic into different pieces. I mean, they have explained each and everything, like how it works and how the algorithm works, how it is making an impact in the health industry, education sector, and everything. So this is just going to be a basic of it. Um, Usually, when you hear this word superpower or superhero, first thing comes into our mind are those good stock characters, right? Like Avengers, Superman, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, etc., who always use their power to fight against the odds and save the world. But what we had in the COVID-19 phase, the only superpower which saved us and saving us till date is artificial intelligence, or for that matter, technology. Of course, health workers and all those people who are in the front line are saving us, but definitely technology is the one which is helping us to prevent it to go further, or technology is the one which is largely in support of this humankind to fight against COVID. So, for example, on December 30th, 2019, a Canadian startup spotted this deadly coronavirus. I don't know how many of you have read this particular news. The artificial intelligence platform Blue Dot, which picked up on a cluster of unusual pneumonia cases happening around a market in Wuhan, China, and flagged it. So that was a start. So Blue Dot has spotted what would come be known as a COVID-19. So 9 days after, WHO came up with a statement that this pandemic is called COVID-19. So technology was the first one to identify this issue. Technology was the first one to alert everyone, or till date, technology is the one which is helping each and everyone to be having a social distance, and still the works are running everywhere. So I must say, without technology today, things will not move forward, and COVID is the one which shown everything to us. So this must tell you that the real superpower is the technology, right? And the new inventions coming under it. So many of us are often confused, or what do you call? We use these terms interchangeably. For example, artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks, deep learning, data science. We have been often hearing these words, but many of us are pretty not sure like how these things works, and what is what and which is which, right? So let me start with what is artificial intelligence. Basically, artificial intelligence is mimicking a human behavior. That's how I can simply quote it. So AI is for building models that emulate cognition and human understanding. So AI is the implementation of a predictive model to forecast future events. Using artificial intelligence, you can forecast the future events, and basically you can mimic a human behavior. So the next thing comes under artificial intelligence is machine learning. So machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence, or you can say it's a subset that provides a system that ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. If you are a Netflix user or an Amazon user, or if you go to do shopping in Amazon or any other online platforms, you often see that there are recommendations for you to buy clothes based on your interest, to buy books based on your interest. All these recommendation search engine recommendation things comes because of this machine learning. So it reads from the large data sets what it has provided, applies algorithm on it, and recommends or predicts what you have to do next. So that's how machine learning helps us. And then the next thing is the deep learning. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning in artificial intelligence. Now we say big data and deep learning, which has networks capable of learning unsupervised from data that is unstructured or unlabeled. So maybe when you get into a detailed discussion on what is machine learning, you might understand, you will better understand what is a structured data and unstructured data. However, today I'm not going to touch those topics. The next one is the neural networks, and neural networks is a series of algorithms which basically tries to recognize underlying relationships in set of data through a process that mimics the human brain. So neural networks, or KNN, which falls under deep learning, that is also a concept which mimics the human brain to read the data. So the next is data science. So I would say that data science, which works parallelly with artificial intelligence, which is about finding hidden patterns in the data. Um, if you are at if you want to work on a machine learning project, the first thing you have to do is the data analysis. You need to be a data scientist. 70% of your research project is based on data analytics. So if your data is clean, if your data is well analyzed, then there are 80 to 90% of chances to have a successful prediction for your project. So this is it. Now, when I talk about post COVID-19 superpower, as I already told you, technology is the one. And today, artificial intelligence or machine learning is taking care of all these sectors. More than this, but majorly of these sectors: education, health, finance, and entertainment. And I don't know how many of you have, especially those students who are listening to this webinar, uh, this EdTech product concept might be a new thing for them. But believe me, EdTech products are increasingly popular in developed countries as well as it is getting popular in developing countries. I don't know, Professor Andrew mentioned that he started using Zoom when this lockdown started. Frankly speaking, everybody around the world have started using Zoom, but I don't know on what basis this Zoom has thought to come out with this product. Maybe they thought that it's going to be an help for the corporate meetings and stuff, but it turned out to be an edtech product where all the education sectors were totally dependent on Zoom technology. So that's a good thing. Many of them have started using Zoom these days, so it has become one of the popular edtech products, and that was a savior during this lockdown, I could say. Apart from Zoom, you had Google Meets, Google Classrooms, a whole lot of stuff. Today, what I'm going to discuss is some of the top tech startups, especially in India, which uses artificial intelligence or machine learning and getting popular in India. So when you talk about education sector, so gone are those days of one size fits all, because we deal with multiple type of learners. People, there are, you all know that there are four different types of learners: uh, kinesthetic learners or audio learners, video learners. So there are four different types of learners. And today, when you release a product in the education sector, you cannot say that there's one size fits for all. So you have to take care of different types of learners, different types of learning behaviors and things before you release a product, online product in the education sector. So if you look at in that way, so machine learning and artificial intelligence have made learning to become personalized and adaptive. So there are customized courses based on learners' behaviors, personalized and adaptive learning, gamification, flexible learning. All these things are taken care of by these machine learning and algorithm concepts, artificial intelligence concepts. Sorry. So if you look at the products on the right side, MIT's product, or for example, edX or Future Learn, Coursera, Udemy, Diversity, a bunch of products are there which offers online programs these days. And if you see in India, some of the tech products which are making waves these days are uh, Byju's, especially. Everybody would have heard about this product, Byju's. So it's one of the world's most valued ed tech companies. So Byju's basically focus on mathematics and science. It also trains students for examination in India as well as the international. So if you look at Baiju stands inside Baiju's or Khan Academy, all these products are making waves in India, and a lot of students are enrolling in these things, especially during the lockdown. If you look at that, during this lockdown period, most of these tech products have raised a good amount of money in their startup. So also another thing is, like, today education institutions are talking about experiential learning, flipped classroom, especially in UK and US universities. It's quite common, flipped classroom concepts or experiential learning models. However, in developing countries, it's still not there. People are still trying to do these things. COVID is going to help us a lot, because now students have understood that online education is a new normal and they have to uh, get used to it. So definitely these things are going to complement when we come back from COVID into the education system. So students will definitely start analyzing or patronizing these flipped classroom models. So if you look at that, gamification is one new concept which everybody should embrace on. When it comes to experiential learning, I mean, teaching kids using games and things. So one startup which is pretty strong in this is Desk. We all know that we spend like 80% of us use internet from our mobile phones, right? And around 3 billion, I mean, everybody, if you take the entire world statistics, it says that we spend 3 billion hours per week playing games. So Code has combined this gaming concept as well as the mobile phone, and then they came up with with a product which makes learning accessible, interactive, measurable. So it's basically a game-based mobile learning for the modern enterprises. That's how Code does. And another one is Vedantu, which is also another Indian product. The startup provides students with opportunities to learn the way they desire, especially this particular thing, personalized and adaptive learning or customized courses. That's what they are focused in. So for all these things, big data, AI, or machine learning, which helps them in a bigger way. So they train based on the insights of the learners, based on the behavior of the learners. They come up with solutions targeting a particular learner. So in this way, I mean, they apply machine learning algorithms for all these things, definitely. So this is how it helps the tech products or edtech products in India to grow further. So another thing is the Class Plus, which is a B2B edtech startup. So Class Plus, especially this month, I think in the month of May, they raised around $9 million. So Class Plus is a mobile-first software as a service platform that enables private coaching institutes and their tutors to streamline their content distribution. If you look at in this line, if you see there is a product called Thinkific. I don't know how many of you have used Thinkific. Uh, if you are a trainer and if you want to launch your courses as a freelancer, you can just go to Thinkific or Class Plus and then create your login account, and then they start using it. These are all some of the freemium products. You can use your login and start using it freely up to a certain user, and later on you start paying it. So they also use machine learning and artificial intelligence concepts to better their solutions. Another thing is the Whisk Club, which uses a unique method of developing and nurturing high order thinking skills. These days, critical thinking and logical skills. I remember the first or second presentation of Professor Sandeep, who spoke about depression. So we need to make kids we need to nurture the kids in critical thinking. We need to nurture the critical thinking skills of the kids these days. They need to think logically. They need to understand, apart from this technology, apart from the science and everything, critical thinking holds a high value in today's education sector. So Whisk Club's product, higher order thinking skills in children, is one product which is scientifically designed to target kids and to develop their cognitive skills. And they also use artificial intelligence and machine learning concepts to develop products like that. Another thing is health sector. So many of you have already discussed about this. Technology has helped us in spotting the outbreak. For example, as I told you, Blue Dot was the first one to spot this outbreak, and then tracking. These days, if you see China as well as in Ghana, Facebook and Google are having an app which interacts with the user to find out the COVID situations, and based on that, they are ensuring a social distancing or sending messages back to the health administrators, right? So it is also used in predictions and as well as recommendations, predicting diseases. For example, breast cancer or any chronic diseases these days can be predicted using the data set of patients, and then recommendations are made based on that. So in health sector, artificial intelligence, machine learnings are widely used. Another interesting thing is that recently there was this problem when the lockdown happened. The president of Togo, since I'm coming from Ghana, so Togo is the neighboring country. So Togo, what happened is the president wanted to give money to the deprived people. I mean, those who have lost jobs and all. He wanted to send like $20 to each of the families, each one. So then what they did is, that's where this technology helped them. They partnered with the telecommunication network providers. They analyzed the subscribers data, call subscribers data, how many times they have purchased the mobile data, how the usage of internet is. Based on this, they have clustered people who are from the deprived community, and it has helped them to disburse money to those who are affected. Not only in Togo, also in Uganda, they did the same thing. Bangladesh, they did the same thing. So in the health sector, they embrace technology to help to cluster these kind of people. Even when it came to diagnosing malaria or clustering people who are affected by malaria or pneumonia in African countries, they used machine learning and deep learning concepts. So another thing is the finance sector. So when you talk about finance sector these days, We all know when you go to an insurance website, automatically there is a robo chat option available where you can interact based on text messages. It analyzes your text messages and comes out with the solutions, investment solutions. It tells you like how many years you will take to reach a certain amount of money in your savings, or it automatically predicts and recommends different solutions. So in portfolio management, it is used. Algorithmic tradings are these days used, and fraud detection, sentimental and news analysis. Sentiment and news analysis is also used widely in movie industries, entertainment industries. Whenever it comes to, I've seen on Fridays, we all know that they release new movies in India. Within no time, they'll come up with the results of whether the movie is a blockbuster or not. The reason is they do the sentimental analysis algorithm across all the social media channels. They read the tweets, they read the Facebook posts. Based on that, they come to a conclusion that whether a particular movie is a hit or a flop within a fraction of seconds. So similarly, it helps in finance sector too. Customer service, loan and insurance underwriting. So in all these sectors, we see that machine learning and artificial intelligence are widely used these days. And again, coming back to the entertainment sector, we all know what an OTT platform is. Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hotstar. These days, we knew that people love entertainment. I mean, during this COVID, you all must have seen that people were glued to their television, which is, I mean, smart TVs, which has Amazon Prime and Netflix. People were behind seasons and things. So artificial or machine learning plays a major role in these OTT platforms. When you get these recommended movies, when they cluster the movies based on your language, all these things are happening because they read a lot of data about you. They read your interest, and based on these interests, these recommendations are made. Another thing is gaming. Today we talk about StarCraft, Minecraft, Rocket League, even a simple chess game these days. It uses artificial intelligence. It mimics human brain. It reads each and single move a user is making, and based on that, the computer takes the next move. Right. So especially if you talk about a concept called reinforcement learning under the machine learning, we have this supervised, unsupervised, and there is a semi-supervised or reinforced learning. That's where we use for gaming, chess games and all, where the computer is allowed to learn by itself. And finally, the shopping and travel. So in shopping and travel these days, you know that everybody listens to music, or Spotify is used widely for that. So I think the examples I've given is basically on the music apps. However, we use shopping and travel. We use these uh, what do you call for shopping? I could say Amazon. Yeah, again. So they all use machine learning algorithms to help you in recommending products. So ideally, if you see, technology is out there which helps you or which gives you a virtual experience of how things should be. And I'm pretty sure that post COVID, people will start using technology a lot, start embracing technology in every